Hey everybody, Tim and Jordan here for another Golden Girls review, like that we're doing once a month at this point. Anyways, so I don't know. So I guess we'll just. It's been so long I don't even remember how we do these anymore. So we did 3 episodes, like we usually try to do, because I feel like that's a good time period. So we'll start from the top, work our way to the bottom. We have episode 12, the custody battle. So this is the one that's about Gloria visiting.
Oh, yes.
So I don't have siblings. Well, I do. I have a half brother that, like, we grew up completely in different households, so we never saw each other. You actually have a brother.
Shocking.
So shocking. So being an adult, like, with your mom and you and your brother both have your separate families. Like, did you relate to this episode where, like, because in this one, like, Sophia's bouncing back and forth between Dorothy and Gloria. Like, what did you think about this episode?
In this episode, is what it is Sophia's on Dorothy's back all the time to get a date, and she's getting really annoyed by it. She's like, she's like, I've been married, I've had kids. Like, if I want to date, when I want to date, then I'll date. And then finally, she comes home and she's like, hey, you know what? She's like, Gloria's gonna be here in a little bit, so like.
Which, it's kind of funny because Dorothy's only been divorced for like 2 years, or not even 2 years.
Yeah, at this point it's been.
So it's like, years. Get off my back.
In the previous reviews that we've done, they actually sign like their divorce papers and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. So already, like, I don't see why Sophia is like, you need to go on a date. Like, I was married for 20 years and I've only been divorced for like 1 or 2. Like, get off me.
Right, exactly.
So I'm going to side with Dorothy on that one.
I actually honestly would too. Like, if you and I were married for 20 years and then we got divorced, like, I'd be single for a while.
Yeah.
I'd want to be me. But the episode
have our Blanche years.
Yes, exactly. But the episode is mainly what it's about is that it causes issues between Dorothy and Sophia, and that's where when Gloria comes to visit, she pops the question, Dorothy, that says, hey, I want Mom to come live with me in California.
Which, so in this, like, clearly, I mean, they live in Miami, yes. Which is fair. I mean, you're going to have to make some bank to live there. You don't just move there.
Not that much different from California.
Yeah. But, like, clearly Gloria is more well off than Dorothy.
Oh, it's definitely, like, she says that she has a mansion, she has maids and butlers, she has a limo. All of her kids are, like, doctors and lawyers, and, like, they've all of their colleges all paid. Like, it's very...
Like, she's basically like, you know what, I'm better than you, so Mom should come live with me.
Basically, she basically says, I can take better care of her.
Gloria's a bitch.
That's what happens when you have money.
Yeah. But, so overall, like, I don't know, have you ever had a fight with your brother about your mom?
Over our mom?
Like, if your mom couldn't support herself, like, would you and your brother ever have that conversation on who she should live with?
We actually already have.
Oh.
And there's been a few times.
Hopefully Tracy doesn't watch this.
Love you, Mom. No, it's honestly one of those, we both agreed that we would let her choose which one she would want to live with. I told him it's my mom, she raised me, for 18 years, so if she needs somewhere to live, I'm sure I can open up my door to her too.
I don't know, between you and your brother, I feel like we're the Gloria in this scenario, though. A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So, my mom may end up with my mom, or with my brother, you never know. But it's one of those, yes, we've talked about it, and we've just agreed that we're going to let her decide, but we both agreed that, yes, our doors are open, so.
That's nice.
We're good, bro. We're good, we love our mom.
Yeah. And then there's a minor subplot, I don't even know if you wanted to even talk about it, or if it stood out to you, was the whole Macbeth thing with Blanche and Rose auditioning for the play.
Oh, I kind of forgot about that part.
Blanche is like, oh, I want to sleep with the director and get a part, but then Rose ends up getting it. The only reason I think this is important is I feel like this is, like, one of the few instances where we actually get, like, an A plot and a B plot that are so different.
Yeah, they all kind of have their own little side stories at this moment. And that's the part that I think is funny too, because Blanche is so sure that she's going to get this part. And she's like, don't worry. She's like, I got this part in the sack. And she's like, you mean in the bag? And Sophia's like, no, you mean in the sack.
Oh. So overall, I would say it was a good episode. It kind of shows more of Gloria's part. I don't know if we see Gloria again. We actually do see Phil at some point, don't we?
I think we end up seeing them all a couple times.
Yeah, so, and they talk about Phil a little bit, where she's like, I love all my kids, except
for
Phil. Yeah, so, but so overall, I like this one. You like all of them, I don't know why I'm asking. So moving on to episode 13, one of my favorite episodes, Little Romance. This is the one where Rose dates Dr. Newman.
Yes.
I love this one. This is I don't know if they could make this episode nowadays.
I honestly think they could, because they'd find a way to do anything nowadays. But
Everybody's so offended by everything. I feel like the small person humor, I don't know if they could do it. But my favorite episode, or my favorite line, probably the entire series, that I remember being knee-high to a grasshopper, is when Blanche walks in with the hors d'oeuvres and she's like, shrimp, and just turns around and walks right back out. Even as a little kid, I don't even know if I got that joke, and I was like, that's amazing.
It's the leading up to, because they want to meet this guy over and over again, and they've never met him, so he calls, and Blanche actually invites him over. And that's the part when he first walks in. Blanche is like, oh, Rose Nyland,
it's one of the Johnson boys.
Yeah. Oh, you did this to me because you set me up because I invited your friend over here trying to get back at me. No, this is...
God, I wish I were dead. I loved it so much. She's just that awkward humor where everybody's like, no,
so this is happening.
This is a real thing. And they're like, what, you don't have much small talk? And just all of the puns throughout this whole episode were great. I can't even to build up to it though, I don't know if it's maybe just when I was single and dating, or watching Blanche and stuff, but when they first want to meet Dr. Newman, they're like, oh, is that the guy you've been seeing? And she's like, I don't want to talk about it. And Blanche is like, oh, you've seen him 5 times in 3 weeks. And I was like, that's it? Is that a serious relationship?
5 times? I mean, at their age, probably.
Wow. But I don't know, 5 times in 3, I think it was 5 times in 3 weeks. I don't know, that seems slow to me. When we first started seeing each other, I feel like we saw each other a lot.
When we kind of played, we saw each other maybe once or twice a week, and it was little by little.
Well, I guess twice a week for 3 weeks would be 6 times.
But also at the time, we lived on 2 separate ends of the town, and one of us didn't have a car.
That's true. But so I don't know. For whatever reason, that felt like it was slow to me. And then, of course, they do end up breaking up. If I remember right, it's because he's Jewish. And
yes.
He's like, I can't see you anymore. And she's like, I've defended you about your height and all of this. And he's like, I can't see you because you're not Jewish. And she's like, what?
That's it? What?
And then they laugh about it.
Yeah, they have their talk that apparently it's been difficult for Rose. It's been difficult for him. So...
Overall, I loved it. This is one of my favorite episodes.
They worked out their little differences.
Especially for season 1. This is a great episode. And then we'll go ahead and do the last episode for this review. We'll do episode 14. That Was No Lady. Which, I don't know, because I do a lot of research before the two of us watch these. And looking at the title, I was like, is this about a cross-dresser? What is this episode about? But no, Darcelle's. This episode is about Dorothy seeing a married man, which I was going to talk to you about, but I wanted to save it for this review so I can surprise you. I do not remember, or I kind of remember this because I'm really big on actors. I love actors' names and stuff like that. Do you know who Jerry Orbach is?
No.
He was the voice of Lumiere in Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he was really famous in Law and Order. Anyways, the reason I bring that up is, so this whole episode is about Dorothy dating a married man named Glenn O'Brien. So we're in season 1. Way down the road in season 5, Glenn O'Brien comes back.
Oh.
But he's played by he's played by Jerry O'Brien, and in that episode he's actually divorced his wife and stuff.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to remember this for when we get to that episode, because I remember seeing Jerry Orbach in an episode, but I don't really remember what it's about, just because I know actors, so I remember him being in it, but I don't remember the character. So anyways, this episode is about Dorothy dating a married man and Rose testing out Blanche's car.
Yes.
So
because Blanche wants to get a new sports car. She never says what car it is, if you notice in the episode.
I don't know shit about cars.
Well,
like, he is all about cars. Like, I have to hear every fucking day, like, let's get this car. I'm like, I don't know. A car's a car's a car. So,
it has four wheels, as an engine, and it goes.
If Blanche didn't say what kind of car it was, he's going to be the one that picked up on that. Because I don't even know if did she mention what kind of car she drove?
No, it doesn't even say what kind of car like she drives. It just says that she wants to trade it in on a new sports car, and that's all it says. And I know it's a muscle car. That's by the way she talks about. But other than that, they never say if it's a Mustang, if it's a Camaro, nothing like that. And I feel like for Blanche, it just
this would have been like 1987. I don't know what kind of cars were popular in like the late 80s.
Something tells me it was a Mustang, just because I don't know what style of Mustang. Probably a fastback probably a fastback. I don't know if that's But anyways,
I don't know what that means. I know what a Mustang is, and I know what a Camaro is because I've seen Transformers. Okay, so what did you think about Dorothy dating a married man?
Honestly, it's one of those. This is one of those where we had to have the conversation before we actually did this review. I haven't been with a married man, but I have been with someone who was trying to be faithful with somebody else, I would say.
Oh, we did talk about this.
Yeah.
Because before we got together, I was with a married woman. Yeah. That happened. I was the hussy. I was the other one.
The even more awkward part is I met this woman.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move on from that. I wish I knew how to edit videos.
All right.
Cut this out.
Cut that out.
So
we're both terrible, so we've both been in Dorothy's shoes.
Me more so. But yeah, that's a thing. But it's easy to say never, but I'm going to say never. Like, I haven't been in that position, and I don't foresee myself ever being with somebody else.
Yeah, that's one of those,
as a single person, I was like, fuck, do I care? You're with somebody else. Like, you're the bad person, not me.
And that's unfortunately how people look at it, but it's also one of those, because in the episode, Dorothy, she does get mad. She does get upset because the guy ends up telling her, hey, I'm married.
And she storms out.
Yeah, and it's one of those, I think in her mind, she's very conflicted because she's been on the other end of this where her husband left her for another woman, and she got the phone call that her divorce or her marriage was over. Mm-hmm. So I feel like Dorothy is definitely, like, in her mind, she's back and forth on this, but at the same time, she was hurt by when Stan left her, so maybe now she gets a taste of the medicine to be on the other end.
Stacy?
The skinny blonde.
Yeah, but now Dorothy is that woman.
So now she has that option to be on the other.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so now it's one of those. I think that's why, like, when Sophia's like, I know you know what you're doing isn't right because you pace your room back and forth at night, and it's one of those. To me, I'm like, she's been on both sides of the situation now.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That she was, or Stan left her for another woman, and now she's that other woman.
So
yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's good. And I don't know. This is kind of one of those like plots that shows Golden Girls really does touch on some really heavy issues. Like, most people, when they think of Golden Girls, they think of, like, Picture It Sicily, they think of Stories from St. Olaf, and they think of Cheesecake. But, Golden Girls brought up some heavy issues like AIDS and homosexuality and euthanasia and stuff like that. Like, it dealt with some heavy hitters. And this whole one where not, like, they've touched upon and they've done it to death with, like, I'm a married woman and my husband cheated on me. And they've touched on divorce. But this is the first time where they've dealt with, like, I'm not being cheated on. I'm, like, the cheatee.
Yeah.
I'm the woman that a married man is cheating on with. And how does that make me feel being the other woman? Knowing, hey, we're only going to meet in hotels. We're only going, if we go to dinner, we have to take separate cars.
Well,
and stuff like that.
And that's, again, Sophia, she's like, I raise you to respect yourself, not be someone's floozy.
Right. And so, I don't know, I feel like this is one of those episodes where it really dealt with some serious topics about, like, having respect for yourself and, like, respecting others, because I mean she knows what she's doing is wrong for that other woman, because like you said, she's been in that position,
Right.
so, and I mean we've seen her, like I'm pretty sure her name was Stacy, like when she showed up, how Dorothy has that hatred for her because she's like, you slept with my husband. Now she has that own like inner turmoil, like, hey, now I'm sleeping with somebody's husband.
Right, and that's, like I said, she gets the experience on both sides of the fence. Now she's like, I know what it's like to be cheated on, and I know what it's like to be the mistress on the side. Like,
But, and then I like, well, how they talk to Blanche, and Blanche was like, I've never done that. And they're
and
like,
all,
really?
yeah, get out of here.
And she's like, no, he's going to give all the best gifts to his wife. And I was like, sounds like Blanche. Okay, I'm with that.
She's like, I want to go to cheat. So.
Yeah. But, so overall, I don't know. I really enjoyed these 3 episodes. I thought they dealt with some really, like, heavy topics with, like, what are you going to do when your mom can't take care of herself? Dating somebody different than you, and dating somebody that is off limits. So I felt like these 3 episodes were really heavy. They buried it with the humor, but they were, especially the purple rain scene. Purple rain! Like, I love that. I don't know why, it just stood out to me.
Yeah, and that actually kind of brings us all back to, like, we didn't really touch up on Blanche's car situation.
Yeah. With Blanche, so I don't know, because it's cars. I don't care about cars.
That's probably why you skipped over it.
And like, she was almost purposely selling Rose a lemon.
Oh yeah, she...
Because it was like I don't know if Kelly Blue Book was even around in the 80s. I don't know how old Kelly Blue Book is.
Yeah, they just say Blue Book value.
Do they even say Blue Book?
Yeah, they just say Blue Book value, which, I mean, Blue Book value is literally just what the bank tells you is what it's worth.
Yeah. And then Blanche is like, no, I know it doesn't work. It's not a good car, and I don't want to sell it to you. You can't sell it to anybody. It's been stolen.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that she can't sell it to Rose because A, she says she feels guilty about it, but then also she says that the car's a piece of junk so much that the car dealership won't give her the full money for the down payment that she needs on this new car.
And then Sophia's the one that's like, well, if it was stolen, you get full Blue Book value.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I'm just
let's go!
And then just like that, she's like, I'm going to call the dealership and tell him he made a sale. I mean, like, because, yeah, the insurance company isn't going to look at that at fraud or anything. Oh, my car just got stolen, I just put a down payment on a new car.
That's true.
Yeah.
But,
like,
I mean,
it
was legitimately stolen, so I don't know if they could really do anything.
Oh,
but it's not gonna be that fast, though. She's not gonna be able to, like, oh, here's my insurance claim, and here's the new car. It's gonna be a process.
Oh, I mean, yeah, they're not gonna wait. It's a dealership. They're not gonna wait until they see money. So
it was the 80s, though. Like, I don't know how things worked in the 80s.
I don't know.
I just pretend everybody's trusting. I don't know.
Innocent.
I don't. Well, I mean, neither one of us were around, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know. If you were around in the 80s, how were car dealerships?
Did you just walk off the lot?
Yeah, did you just be like, my car got stolen, here's a check? So, I don't know. I don't know. I'm assuming there wasn't as many, like, fraud things as there were now. Or at least it was harder to track.
I would say I'm sure people were still caught with tricks at that time, and it was just harder to catch them.
I know. Thieves are smart. Like, I'm not smart enough to be a thief.
I'm not smart enough to be a thief.
Especially working in retail, I see a lot of thieves, and they're smart. Like, they're really, really smart.
I would say, like, yeah, like
printing their own barcodes to attach to products and stuff. Like, nope.
I thought the whole FaceTiming people, so when you're in the store, they hold the phone
a backup?
up. Yeah, so that way someone in the back can be like, oh, there's a person watching you, and then it's like they're like a second pair of... I was like, what the fuck? I was like, who in the hell FaceTimes all that? And surprisingly, I walk into grocery stores and a lot of people FaceTime, and I'm just like, I wonder if all these fuckers are stealing shit.
Yeah, usually. But okay, so that's it for our 3 episodes. Any closing thoughts?
Food for thought? No, not really.
No. Okay, well, thank you guys for everything. I will try to get him to watch episodes a little bit faster. It's difficult. It's really hard.
My season for my job is slowing down, so I will be home more, so hopefully we'll be able to bust out a couple more reviews. Maybe 2 a month instead of just 1.
Ooh, good. So thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for being patient for the Golden Girls, and we will see you guys next time.